Hey guys, it is Saturday. I just went to my meeting. Sorry, our morning's gonna be a little busy today, so I don't have time to kind of stop and video, so I have to do it while I'm driving. But I am down 3 pounds this week. That brings my total for Weight Watchers for 9 weeks to 19.4. And my total weight loss for my absolute highest is 61.1. So I'm actually battling, I think, some kind of cold or allergy thing too. So I'm not feeling great. But so this week, I'm kind of waiting for the week where I can be like, I rocked it. I did awesome. Tracked I've been tracking everything, so that's not really my issue. But staying under my points and everything. I was negative, I think like 70 something points still for this week. Saturday last week, we went to a friend's house and actually they asked us out for dinner, and I said, well, why don't we just meet at one of our houses and do like a game night and get food in or whatever. We got pizza. And I think I talked about this actually in my last meeting because my video, because my video was late from last week. But, so I overindulged then. And then, I had a bad day Wednesday or Thursday, I guess. I can't remember which day. And I just, I had been really good this week with the Halloween candy. I hadn't gotten into it. It really hadn't even tempted me, and I was doing good. But I had a bad day, and I started binge eating, and during that binge, I thought about the candy and said, well, if I'm already off track now, why not go full blazing and dive into the candy and have it now? Because if I get back on track tomorrow, I'm not going to have that candy. So, and I don't know if this is good or bad. When I binge, there's no stopping me. I will eat whatever and whatever. This time around, though, I have to say that I think the earliest I have started binging any day over the last 2 months is like 3 or 4 in the afternoon, where there are some days where if I start binging, or if I decide like at the beginning of the day that I'm not going to track today or whatever, that it will last all day long. And then I'll be like, I'll just get back on track tomorrow. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This is the first time, so 9 weeks, where I have tracked every single thing. And not that I've been perfect. I have been over my points, but I've tracked it. And I haven't had one day where I've just ate bad all day long. So I guess I need to give myself some credit for that, where in the past I would have just eaten all day long and then moved on, or not, depending on what my mood was. So I do have to think about the positives the positive changes that I've made in this journey and how it's helping me, because it is. But today in our meeting, we were talking about the weekly and how, the little flyer that they give you, and how, finding your support and what that looks like. And I struggle. I don't really look for other people for support. I do look to Connect and Instagram, not so much I look to Connect to reach out to people for advice and other things. Instagram, I look at other people's journeys, and that motivates me. But I don't look to my friends and my family for support. And it's not that they won't give it to me. It's just, this is my journey, and I'm the only one that can make these changes. And my husband is supportive in the fact that, like, he wants me to be successful, and, he usually will do what I ask, but I don't tell him he can't bring certain things into the house, and I can't tell him that he can't eat certain things. But I also will get mad if I'm having a day where I'm binging, and he'll be like, you sure you want to do that? And I know he's being helpful, but I don't want to be told that, should I be doing that, or is that okay, or are you on plan today, or whatever. So I feel bad kind of for him, because I'd be like, support me, and then I'm like, be quiet, I don't want to hear it. So I don't look for the people that are in my life on a day-to-day basis for support. It's me. I'm the only one that can change it. And so, I don't know, we were talking about that, and I think that, everybody is different. Everybody has different needs. For me, I'm an all or nothing. It's better for me to stay away from something than to have a little bit, because if I have a little bit, I'm going to want it all. So for me, it's just better to stay away from it. Other people can have a little bit of something, and that's what they need, and it satisfies them, and they can move on. And I think that's great. I'm just not that person. And I have to track everything. It's funny to me, like, oh my gosh, I have never tracked when I'm doing horrible. I never have, because why? What's the point? But I will tell you, there is something to be said about it for a couple of different reasons. For me, I don't eat as bad. I'm sitting here like, I really don't want to have to track all this, but it went in my mouth. It went in my body. I'm not fooling anybody but myself by not writing it down or, putting it into the app. And so that keeps me accountable. Also, it's funny because the other day I almost had 2 days, Saturday when we were at our friends, I almost didn't track. And then I almost didn't track the other day. And I will say that every time I have done this binging thing, which I understand is something that I'm always going to deal with. So this is never going to go away. And I just have to learn how to manage it, because it will not go away. And so, for me, the day that I stop tracking is probably the day that I'm going to fail completely. So I need to track it. And you know what? And I will say that there are days that I haven't tracked it while I'm eating it, but then I go back and I've started writing down, even if I don't feel like tracking it right then, because I don't want to see it right then, and that's fine. But I will write it down, like the amounts of whatever I'm eating, and then it might be later that day that I track it. It may be the next day. I haven't gone past the next day without tracking it. But so therefore, it's still there. I may not want to see it. I may not want it right in my face right that minute. But at least I'm still accountable. And, and the other thing too is I think there's something for me when I see a negative in my weeklies. I'm not sitting there like, oh, well, I still have 42 weeklies left to eat for the week, because I decided one day I wasn't going to track those 42 weeklies I ate. So I ultimately still eat less. So, I know it's not for everyone. I get it, but that's just my thing. Like, I never was that person. I used to think, I'm not tracking it. I don't want to see it. And it has made a difference for me. So sometimes I think it might be good to get out of our comfort zone, because you might realize that you need something that you didn't think you needed, or you want something that you didn't think you wanted. Just food for thought. Yeah, no pun intended. But, sometimes that is what we need, or sometimes, that's it. But I just thought it was interesting, listening to people, and I don't know. So I don't know what this week's going to bring. I'm very proud of myself. I'm not perfect, and this journey has not been perfect, but it's not going to be perfect. And this has to kind of be my lifetime mentality that, they were talking in the meeting about how, if people judging you and saying, can you eat that on Weight Watchers, or is that on your plan? And, for one, it's not anybody else's business what you're eating. For two, yeah, it is on my plan, because everything is on my plan. It's what I choose, or how I choose to use my points. And if I choose to blow all my points on one meal, then that's what I chose. Or if I choose to use all of my weeklies. You know what? Even if I choose to go over the points that I'm allotted, that doesn't mean that I have completely failed. It's one day. It's life. You know, life will happen. So, which is very hard for me to say because I'm an all or nothing. I'm a perfectionist. If it's not perfect, I don't want a part of it. You know, so it's definitely an eye-opener for me. But, you know, when I'm sitting here and you know, saying that I'm still down almost 20 pounds in 9 weeks and I haven't been perfect, there you go. So, anyway. All right, well, I'm going to cut off this video. I hope you guys have a great weekend and a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.